Welcome everyone. In this video, it will be a part 2 of our NixOS journey. I want to talk about this thing and NixOS's key features and also why I chose GNOME for the start and not something like Hyperland or Miri. Let's go through it. Now, this is the official NixOS wiki. It have got so much information about every software. I think it can compete with ArchWiki, but ArchWiki is just legendary, too legendary for it to handle. So this is GNOME's official wiki page on NixOS wiki website, and also when you open up your configuration.nix file, you will stumble across this weird syntax. So let me just open it to my standard neuron. You got stumbled across this weird syntax that feels very weird, but it's easy to edit. So let me show you. To enable some fonts that you'll need, you just search fonts here. Oh, this is how you add fonts here. So you can just copy this block right here, paste it here, and then add your favorite fonts, any font you like. To add a font, you just search nerd fonts. If you want to add a nerd fonts ISFK, I got it from here. I just added it here, and that's it. For software, the beauty of NixOS is that it has the biggest package repository in the world of Linux. So you can install almost any popular package that you could imagine to your mind. For example, you can install something like GoWall, tool to convert wallpapers, color scheme, and palette. That package is fairly known and admired, but it's not ever available in the standard Arch repos, you see, but it is available in AUR. But after the recent AUR outage, I just wanted to switch to something better, more stable, less virus. So I just switch it to Ghosty and installed some neat apps and tools, and that's it too. And we have also Flakes, which enables to pinpoint your packages to specific version, what it is like. So if you have seen any log file if you are a coder or programmer, you will see that this specific package is pinned to a specific commit on a specific repo. So I can reproduce this exact setup on any machine without any trouble. Flakes gives that edge. And also there's Home Manager, which is also available on macOS, which makes it very neat. And you can edit your dash RC, or if you got your fish config, you can edit your flake and make it reproducible on both macOS and Linux. It's also a bit. So why I switched to GNOME instead of the tiling window manager or Raven compositor? It's a hassle. In GNOME you have got this calendar menu, you have got notification center, world clocks, weather, quick settings. This is all sliders, tray, and just to mention, to enable tray in new versions of GNOME, you have to install this app indicator and case that's notifier item support extension. I just installed few extensions. You can install this and enable them. User scenes. You can enable this fun little effects on your windows. They're just fun. And yeah, you might say that on Hyperland or New you have got these pre-built environments like HyperU and for Dank, Material Shell, Natalia Shell that have gone through a recent upgrade to C++. Yeah, I know it, but I think it just doesn't worth the hassle. For example, most of these projects are already abandoned. Like for example, Hyperlink Material you haven't gone through any commit in the last months. And for God, this is a maintained project because it has many contributors. Dank Linux also, they are well maintained, but I just want a pure experience, pure fast, easy to use, easy to set up experience. That is very beautiful. And also to the specific features of NixOS. For example, I can mention my host name, time zone, locale, what desktop environment, what display manager I use, my audio, my shell, what groups I am in, what packages to install, what fonts to install, what drivers to install. I can state everything in a file, so then I can copy that file to my home directory, open up the files directory, and grab this file anywhere I want, and I can even send this exact file to my friend and he will get this exact setup on his machine with every packages, with every drivers he will ever need. So why I chose Ghosty instead of something like Alacrity? First of all, it's a libvirt writer, which makes it very compatible with something like GNOME, and it's very easy to configure. Like for example, on Alacrity, I have configured Alacrity first. I have to mention these all long lines first, then for window padding and for colors there is no color engine built in, so you have to stick all of the colors yourself. But in here I just state font style regular. This is just a default value, so you can even disable it. You can disable this and just did JetBrains monolith font, theme Capuchin Mocha, and you can very easily choose anything you want from this little TUI. So if I want node theme, I just state it here and get the node theme. But I want Capuchin Mocha. So it's very easy to get started and configure, and it's very lightweight and fast. This due to its zig built-ins. And this Neowin, I just want you to know, don't spend time searching for this config on the internet. It's not lazy vim or astro vim. It's just my manual NeoVim configuration that I have built in like last 2 months or so. So you can go here, search these files. It's maintained with new package managers that comes with NeoVim built in called vim.pack. It has LSP for Python, TypeScript, JavaScript, Lua, C, C++, Rust, HTML, CSS, Nix, and also after formatting for all of these file types. So I can go somewhere like here, add some unnecessary spaces and write :Q, and it auto formats it. Very nice, yeah. Or if you're an Arch Linux guy, you can install this one script here, or if you're a Nix guy like me, you can just copy these all packages to your configuration.nix and then clone this on your machine. This uses the Tokyo Night, but I will update it to use Cat Machine Mocha. I have also enabled Sonoma lock screen, so I will get this pretty looking lock screen instead of the default one. That's it for today. I think you liked this video. Please let me know what recommendation do you have for new videos. Goodbye, see you in the next video.